Representing Carrington Hill. And last, but most certainly not least, number 24, T.C. Backer. Escort class parents, Tommy and Derek, sister Sam, and grandparents Cecil and Lee. A forward from Madison Heights, Virginia. TC is a 1,000-point scorer for the Hornets. He was named at D3Hoops.com preseason All-American honorable mention, and is a two-time All-Conference player. He was named to the 2021 All-ODAC tournament team, and was also a three-time Posada Academic All-Region winner, and was on the Posada Academic All-American first team back in 2021. The Westover Honors College member majored in health and physical education during undergrad, and is currently working on an MBA and Master's of Education in Educational Studies. TC will pursue an opportunity to play basketball overseas, and then pursue a coaching career afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, T.C. Backer. Please join us in wishing these 5 graduating Hornets the best of luck in all their future endeavors. One more round of applause.
Look what you're missing!
It really don't matter to me, I'm just happy to be here, I might go crazy.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
It's senior day from Lynchburg, Virginia. You're watching men's college basketball action on LHSN as the University of Lynchburg plays host to the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins. Currently, the number 3 and 6 teams in the ODAC standings. And if the season were to end today, these two would take center stage once more next Thursday night in the first round of the ODAC playoffs. Going to be a fun one and a battle between the Marlins and the Hornets. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. TJ Wingert here with you on this Saturday afternoon clash. And well, simply put, we're going to have our money's worth today. All-time, it becomes the 58th all-time meeting. Here are some of the stats coming into the contest. We'll take this opportunity to talk about keys to the game. One, to me, got to be the turnover battle. You see these two teams neck and neck in that department. Second in the conference for Lynchburg, fourth for Virginia Wesleyan. So these are two of the best teams inside the entire ODAC at maintaining possessions. One will have to give today, and who does that favor in a tight contest down the stretch? Additionally, Virginia Wesleyan, second to last in the conference in three-point shooting percentage allowed defensively. Meanwhile, Lynchburg on the offensive side, third to last as a team shooting the basketball from the floor and sitting eighth in the conference with a 33.3% three-point shooting percentage. So is there any give there? Do the Marlins allow open shots to fall for Lynchburg? And if so, Lynchburg has a chance to end the regular season on a positive note. Those are some of the keys. Let's talk about players of the game, starting with the visiting Marlins. Got to talk about Tim Fisher, fifth year from Richmond, Virginia, just became the program record holder for career rebounds. Also a player who pours in 17.3 points per game, certainly someone we're going to keep our eyes on today. And on the other side, Theron Suggs looking to bounce back from a tough first meeting of the season between these two teams. 8 points in that first contest, and only a couple of made shots from the floor. And this is a guy who normally can fill it up to that point. Scored 50 in his first home game. Today, his last home game. Is there some poetic rhythm or rhyme there? We'll find out. See the head coach for Virginia Wesleyan, Dave Macedo, winningest coach in conference history. Forget about program history. How about conference best mark there? 22 years at the helm for Virginia Wesleyan. On the other side, Coach Hillary Scott, 14th year leading this Lynchburg men's basketball squad. And currently 7-2 at home this season, looking to defend their home court one final time. The opening tip is up, Fisher versus Dunton, and the opening possession goes the way of the Marlins. It's Miles Wallace, top the arc, Omri DeVoe, down low, Fisher, back out to Corey Pelham. Fisher goes to work against Dunton. Pelham, top three in the ODAC and three-point shots taken. Keep your eyes on him from beyond the arc. First shot of the day from downtown comes from DeVoe, and it's no good. Carrington Young couldn't maintain the rebound. Loose ball rolls harmlessly out of play. It'll go back to Virginia Wesleyan. Starting lineup for both sides for Virginia Wesleyan, it's Tim Fisher, Corey Pelham, Omri DeVoe, Miles Wallace, and Eric Rowland. For Lynchburg, Theron Suggs, Izzy Lackamy, Dow Dunton, Carrington Young, and Miles Taylor. In the low post with Fisher. Trying to work through Dunton. Shot is short. Dunton was beyond impressive. And a loss against Farrah most recently for Lynchburg. Dunton finished in double-digit scoring from that contest. And he is certainly filling in for that T.C. Thacker type of role. Dunton had 15 and 10. Young down low. Suggs draws a heap of defenders. Back out Taylor. He'll try to drive against Rowland, and Lynchburg strikes first. Taylor provides us our first 2 points of the afternoon. Far side wing, DeVoe, just under 7 points per contest. Fisher won't miss this time. Soft touch, sinks through, tied up, 2-all. Talking about the most recent schedule for both sides. It's a 62-60 loss for Lynchburg as Lockamy lines up the three. No good, off the hands of Wallace. It'll stay with the Hornets. But that was a really frustrating loss for Lynchburg on Wednesday night. It gave Ferrum their first win of the calendar year of 2022 and their first conference win to boast the point a little more. It was a game where Lynchburg's offense just could not find any answer. Able to keep it close once we got to the second half, but Lynchburg felt just short. Had a chance to get the game-tying shot with Theron Suggs, but shot from the free throw line went halfway down, then bounced back out. And the Hornets fell just short to the Panthers. Here, Lynchburg up 4-2. Meanwhile, for Virginia Wesleyan, it's a 4-game win streak and wins in 5 of their last 6. Lone loss during that time period. A peculiar 25-point drumming against Washington and Lee. And W&L's a good team, but Virginia Wesleyan right there with them. Fawes third in the conference, WNL fourth. So it was a little peculiar. The Generals able to run away with that one against the Marlins. Jump ball called, alternating possession, puts it in the hands of Lynchburg. So to finalize that statement, it's Lynchburg looking for a bounce-back win and the regular season with some good momentum into the postseason. Meanwhile, Virginia Wesleyan looking to extend a win streak up to 5. Suggs crosses left to right, free throw line. Jay off back iron, rebound. Dutton. Another second chance opportunity for the Hornets. Dutton, Young takes on DeVoe. Layup no good. Another offensive rebound for Dutton. Jump ball called. Now possession goes to the Marlins. So 58th all-time meeting between these two squads, and it's been one-sided, to put it lightly. Virginia Wesleyan 48-9 all-time against Lynchburg, and 20-7 in this building. And tacking onto that, Virginia Wesleyan has won 3 consecutive meetings between them and Lynchburg, and the Marlins have taken 6 of the last 8. Fisher gets the miss, finds Wallace. DeVoe hands it back to Wallace. Pass off the mark and off the fingertips of Pelham, landing in the Lynchburg bench. 16:40 to go in the first half. Jordan Parham. Was called out over the PA. He is not on the floor right now. It's the same 5 in the starting lineup for Lynchburg. Said it looks like Jordan Crump has checked in for Virginia Wesleyan. Pick and roll executed perfectly, and a timeout on the floor. Just under 16 and a half to play. Coach Mikado wants to talk it over with his squad. We will keep it here. This is not yet the under 14 timeout, but give me the resume for Coach Mikado. If you're familiar with Yodak, it's a name that certainly rings a lot of bells because he's had a lot of success. One of 4 head coaches in program history, and talked about it off top. ODAC best active or retired among head coaches in regards to winning percentage, 73.1%. And in ODAC play, not far off, 73.8%, 265 wins to 94 losses. And just to put a final little sprinkle on the resume for Coach Mikado, 25-10 in the NCAA tournament. That speaks to the pedigree that he has brought to this Virginia Wesleyan men's basketball program. And the Marlins have possession coming out of the timeout, down by 4. And to paint the picture of why this game matters so much, Virginia Wesleyan, all but locked into that number 3 spot in the ODAC, 2 games back of Guilford for the number 2 position. Lynchburg has a chance to move up to number 5, but with Roanoke taking on Bridgewater, depending on that contest, Lynchburg may well stay in the 6th position, whether they win or lose today. And if that's the case, if you're familiar with your ODAC postseason alignments, 3 versus 6, that means these 2 teams would take on one another at 8 o'clock next Thursday in the ODAC quarterfinals. Out of the Civic Center in Roanoke. Carrington Young stays resilient. Put back 2. Hornets ahead by 4. From downtown, 3-point shot falls. Jordan Crump, 33.7% shooter from beyond the arc so far this season. First 3 on the day for the junior. Give and go. Suggs to Taylor. Shot misses it all. Another rebound for Fisher. Far side corner, that's Anthony Jackson. First time calling out the freshman. Crump drives past the free throw line. Young reaches in. Pleads his case that he got the basketball. Instead, Young called for the foul. First to go against Lynchburg. Cam Savage will check in for the Hornets. Couple subs on for Virginia Wesleyan as well. See Joey Lee touch the hardwood for the first time today. Eric Rowland returns to the floor. Fisher against Taylor. This will be a fun matchup throughout the day. Kicked out. Trey. Back-to-back possessions for Jordan Crump. Marlins up by 2. Suggs over to Lockamy, looking for the answer. Shot tipped up and left well short of the iron. Fisher fakes the pass, will take it himself. Right-handed hook off the back iron. Rebound Taylor, brings it across half court himself. The sophomore from North Carolina. Nice combo player, can play down low, but also versatility. Enough ball handling ability to live on the perimeter. Lockamy showcases some scoring versatility. Shortest player on the floor, you think him as a three-point specialist, but throughout this year, he's showcased plenty of poise amongst the trees. Taylor gets another rebound. Savage brings it towards the free throw line, finds Theron Suggs. Still looking for his first 2 today. Won't have it on this shot. Crump able to get the pass off. I said Joey Lee earlier, instead it was Evan Tabay. Apologize for getting 5 and 15 mixed up. Runner's good. Left-handed finish for Pelham. Another fifth-year player hailing from Alexandria, Virginia. Pelham's up to 4. Jordan Parham will check in at the next dead ball for Lynchburg. Taylor with the left hand, has it taken away. Pelham poked it loose. Hornets get it back. Shot clock's at 8. Suggs finds Lockamy, the backdoor cutter. And finishing with the right hand. Tied up 12 all. Timeout on the floor with 12:56 to go in the first. That means we've reached the under 14 timeout, so we'll step aside. Come back with more between Virginia Wesleyan and Lynchburg on the LHSN TV network. Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia. Just under 13 minutes till we reach halftime. Currently tied up 12 all. Been a fun one so far. Wouldn't anticipate anything different. Down the rest of the stretch, Virginia Wesleyan will have possession coming out of the timeout. Marlins looking for a win number 5 in a row and looking to sweep the season series against Lynchburg. First meeting of the year out at Virginia Wesleyan. The Marlins took down Lynchburg 74-61 and ended a 3-game win streak for the Hornets, and it extended a win streak for Virginia Wesleyan up to 6. Bay works left, defended by Savage. Down low in the hands of Kevin Nicholson, defended by Dunn. Right-handed shot, misses wide right. Miles Taylor gathers yet another rebound. Savage, nice shot fake. Finishes off the front iron with the left hand. Lynchburg back in front. Going back to Taylor. And we talked about Dunn with 15 and 10 against Ferrum. Lynchburg still looking and learning to adjust with life without T.C. Thacker, out for the rest of the year. Shot well short from Pelham. And contributions from one player probably not going to cut it. So you have a bigger plate for Dow Dunton, who gets yet another offensive rebound. Unable to finish on the second chance opportunity, but Dunton, Taylor, Carrington Young all have larger workloads in front of them now with Thacker out for the year. And had TC Thacker been able to play, we would have seen number 1 and 2 in the conference in double-doubles take center stage against one another. Thacker first in the conference still, despite being injured, with 15 double-doubles. Fisher right behind him with 14. Dunton has such a pretty repertoire of low post scoring moves and creates a plethora of space. Finishes on the shot. Lynchburg up 4. Tabay with the answer. Savage all the way to the cup, no good. Stop me if you've heard it before. Offensive rebound for Dunton. And this time gets the putback to himself. Dunton up to 6 already. Rowland looking to take on Taylor. Absorbs the contact, gets the whistle, clock stops, 10:39 to play in the first half. Just the second foul we've seen so far. Both sides have been very clinical on the defensive end. Eric Rowland steps the free throw line for the first time today. Sophomore, Bryan's Road, Maryland. First attempt up and through. Rowland on the year, 55.6% free throw shooter. And Virginia Wesleyan as a team, 66.5%. Anthony Jackson checks back in, as does Tim Fisher. Trey Pittman on the floor, as well as Noah Bullock for Lynchburg now. Long rebound, back to midcourt, gathered by Savage. Behind the back, over to Pittman. One more pass. Bullock also played really well against Ferrum for Lynchburg. The traditional 4-out, 1-in set for the Hornets. Seen that all season long. Young dumps it off to Parham. Now into the hands of Bullock. Shot clock's at 5. Crossover. Savage hoists the 3. Shot off the mark. Getting the miss is Wallace. Just over halfway through the first half. DeVoe, the southpaw, lets it fly. Far side elbow jumper left short. Carrington Young against Eric Rowland. Right-handed hook. Left off the front of the rim. Carrington Young recognized as a senior today, but also while at Ferrum on Wednesday, where Young transferred from, they recognized Young along with the other seniors on that Ferrum men's basketball team. Created a really nice environment and really nice sense of belonging with Young at Ferrum, and just how that program loves him and embraces him. It was really nice to see him have that opportunity, and I'll do the same today. Part of one of 5 senior/grad students honored before today's contest got underway for Lynchburg. The others being Theron Suggs, Izzy Lockamy, Dow Dunton, and TC Thacker. Fisher against Pittman. Had a nice look. Couldn't finish with the right hand, however. Talking about Bullock against Ferrum on Wednesday night. The season best, 11 for Bullock off the bench. 3 for 5 shooting from beyond the arc, 4 for 6 overall. Kick back out. Wallace lets it fly. Hasn't rattled through. 8 minutes to play in the first half. Virginia Wesleyan retakes the lead. First 3 points in the day for Wallace. Bullock looking for help. Has it with Young. Cutting to the basket. Parham created an opportunity for himself. Couldn't finish. Offensive rebound. Close quarter shot. No good. To follow the play coming from Trey Pittman. DeVoe cuts, gets to the restricted circle, foul on the floor. Presumably going to go against the Hornets. It is indeed, goes against Young, his second. Group of subs on for each side. Izzy Lockamy checks back in for Lynchburg. Back on the floor for the Marlins, Jordan Crump, Tebey, as well as Corey Pelham. Little more than 7 to play in the first half. Wallace looking for 3 more. Won't have it. Parham looks down low, has down Dutton with a size advantage against the 6'2 Pelham. Poked away by Wallace. That'll stay with Lynchburg. 15 seconds to work with on the shot clock, so not a catch and shoot situation. Bullock with the honors. Finds Lockamy quickly. Goes to work against Crump. Contact, no foul. Lockamy again looking for a whistle, won't have it. Now just 3 seconds to shoot. Pittman off the front of the rim. Now the whistle will stop play. Jordan Crump. He was the initial defender against Izzy Lockamy. And a timeout on the floor. Under 7 media timeout has arrived. 20-18, Virginia Wesleyan up by 2 over the Lynchburg Hornets, celebrating Senior Day. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more to watch between these two sides here on the LHSN TV network.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. I 100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it.
20-18 your score, 6:35 to play in the first half. You're watching Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan duke it out on LHSN. Final home game of the season for the Hornets, final game overall for both sides. Lynchburg looking to exact some revenge. Farron picked up a Senior Day win in an upset fashion on Wednesday. Now the Hornets looking to do the same against the current 3 seed in the conference standings, Virginia Wesleyan. Fisher at the top of the arc. Able to hand it off. Wallace gets to the free throw line. Back in the hands of Eric Fisher. 8 seconds to work with. Couple of spin moves and a nice finish for Tim Fisher. 5th-year player, now up to 6. Second defender comes. Pittman gets the pass off to Dunn, who's then stripped from behind. Wallace creates the defensive turnover. T-Bay steps on the baseline. Marlins return the favor. Less than 6 to go in the first half. Miles Taylor, Theron Suggs check back in for Lynchburg and Coach Hillary Scott. It's Parham and Pittman heading to the bench. Busy Saturday afternoon on campus. University of Lynchburg. Doubleheader for softball team. Men's lacrosse home opener against Greensboro. An exciting time of the year. Crossover season with the end of basketball and the beginning of spring sports season. Bullock looking to cut the deficit in half. Fouled on his way to the rack. First foul of the half to go against Virginia Wesleyan. So Bullock on the season, 60% free throw shooter. Junior from Lorton, Virginia, started every game last season. Had a different role this year. Bullock good on the first. Score update for those other contests around campus. Methodist and Lynchburg softball. Methodist up 2-1 in the bottom of the ninth. Extra innings in the first game of a twin bill. And for men's lacrosse up 23-1. Just now getting underway in the fourth quarter against the Pride. Bullock goes 2 for 2. Also an update from Virginia Wesleyan, where Lynchburg women's basketball takes on the Marlins. Hornets up by 4, 22-18. Right around midway through the first quarter. These stats are correct. That is a high-scoring affair if I've seen one. Fisher proves the banks open at 2:35 on a Saturday afternoon. Lead back to 4 for the Marlins. Dunton. The chance to retaliate against Fisher. Parlays it over to Taylor. Awkward shot. Taylor looking for a foul on the play. He won't get the whistle. Instead, Virginia Wesleyan takes over possession. Chance with a bucket here to make it either a full 2-possession lead or with a 3, make it a 3-possession advantage for the Marlins. Virginia Wesleyan played ahead for majority of their game against Randolph. That was the most recent win for the Marlins. 74-72 final score. Randolph went on a 6-0 run for the last little more than a minute of a game before ultimately Wildcats essentially ran out of time. Put Tim Fisher at the free throw line with 3 seconds to go. He went 1 for 2 and brought the game to that 74-72 final. Marlins hoping this one doesn't stay that close. Dunn, another offensive rebound. Foul called. It's going to go against Fisher, his first of the day, second against the Marlins. That'll bring Elijah Davis onto the floor. He checks in for Bullock, and Davis, a great frame and tremendous three-point shooting ability. A natural spark player that Coach Scott can bring off the bench. Suggs gets it into Lockamy. Couple of head fakes. Wallace couldn't help but foul Lockamy. Wake Forest, North Carolina native. Heads to the free throw line for the first time this afternoon. Lockamy on the year, right around a 75% free throw shooter. Good on the first. And again, Lockamy, one of the 5 senior/fifth-year players honored before today's game got underway. And Lockamy's been stellar all year long, almost 11 points per game, a little more than 2.5 rebounds, almost 2 assists per game as well. And you don't have to go far, but 2 games ago, a week ago today, it was a career best 24 against Washington and Lee for Lockamy. Hornets shift into a zone defense, trying to give the Marlins a different look. Shot fake, Wallace to Pelham, lets it fly, touches the rim twice, shot no good, rebound Rowland. Wallace gets to the free throw line. Dishes to Crump in the corner. It's going to take it himself. Nifty dribble moves for someone who opened his scoring with consecutive 3 balls to fall. Dunton. Nice touch for the big man. Senior leads the way for Lynchburg with 8. A little more than 3 minutes to go until halftime. Wallace from way downtown. Shot strong, rebound Davis. Chance to tie it for Lynchburg. Suggs, Lockamy, a dime plus a good finish. Makes it 26 all. 8 points now for Lockamy. 30-second timeout called by Virginia Wesleyan. Lynchburg, the perfect counter after starting to slip behind Virginia Wesleyan. That's the type of fight we've seen from the Hornets all season long, especially at home. This Lynchburg team has been terrific playing at Wayne Prophet Court, 7-2 on the year. And that's been an advantage for other teams, including Lynchburg women's basketball. They finished the year with 10 wins on this floor. And on the other side, Virginia Wesleyan, a 5-5 team on the road, which coaches will tell you, hey, if we win every game at home, half our games on the road, we're in a good spot record-wise. And obviously, that's setting a very high bar. But Virginia Wesleyan hasn't been too far off. They have the 500 record on the road, and then they're 10-4 at home this year. Good for the 15-9 overall record, 11-4 conference play. 2 games back of Guilford, the number 2 spot. So it appears that Virginia Wesleyan, with the number 3 seed, once we get to the ODAC tournament starting next Thursday, truthfully begins tomorrow with the play-in round, but for Virginia Wesleyan, it gets underway on Thursday. Crump, once again with a close quarter shot. Marlins retake the lead, and Tim Fisher is going to check back in at the next dead ball. Taylor down low for Dunton. Defended by Nicholson. Cross-court pass. Davis for 3. Shot no good. Suggs with the offensive rebound. Tough shot fading away. Well defended by Wallace. Junior, big part in getting the stop for the Marlins. Lynchburg still playing in that 2-3 zone, and it pays off. Lockamy reads the play like a book and becomes the first player for Lynchburg to reach double figures with exactly 10. Nearly another turnover created for the Hornets. Lockamy's pumped up. Pelham gets past the teeth of the 2-3, sinks the elbow J. Down to a minute to go in the first half. Entry pass to Taylor, out to Davis. Suggs back for Miles Taylor. Shot fake. First defender goes in the air. Nicholson couldn't defend it. It's the backside help defender in time. Tied up 30 all. Crump, nothing but nylon. His third three-point shot to go already. Shot clock's turned off. Lynchburg likely to have the final shot of the first half. Lockamy's been the hot hand. On his way to the cup. Whistle blown. It's not for a foul. Instead, they'll say it was a block that didn't touch the baseline. Hornets score a second position, or second opportunity, I should say, one way or another. Less than 14 to go. Timeout call by the Marlins. Or at least a break in the action. Referee signal towards the Virginia Wesleyan bench. Instead, No break. Basketball back in the hands of Suggs. Give to Lockamy once again. Gets it away to Dunton. 5 seconds. Suggs trying to find Dunton. Foul on the floor. It's going to go against Wallace. 4th to go against Virginia Wesleyan. 2nd to go against Wallace. 2.3 to work with. Now a timeout called, and this time I mean it. Coach Hillary Scott wants to draw this one up on the whiteboard. And it's interesting in this spot. Do you stick with the hot hand and Izzy Lockamy? He's been the go-to scorer down the last couple of minutes of play. Can't forget about Dal Dunton, though. He's knocking on the door, double-digit scoring at 8. And then, of course, despite Darren Suggs having no points, a player that in a catch-and-shoot situation can certainly come through and has a knack for sinking through heavily contested looks. And that might be the type of shot you have to settle for. Less than 3 seconds to build a play. But also Suggs, typically the inbounder. So he might not have the opportunity. Players back on the hardwood. This time it's going to be Lockamy to inbound. Joined by Taylor, Dunton, Davis, and Suggs on the floor. They try to get it to Suggs from the restricted circle. Tipped out of play. Less than a second to work with for Lynchburg. Kevin Nicholson's going to check back in. He'll guard the inbounder Lockamy. Smart move by Coach Mikado. Lofted up to Taylor. Taps it in! Miles Taylor. The trick shot to bring a close to the first set of 20 minutes of play. If you needed something to have you stick around for the second half, that was the perfect send-off. Hope to have you stick around. We're going to take a quick pause and come back. Talk about some of the stats from the first half and some of the overall themes that we noticed through 20 minutes of play. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan on LHSN.
Living the dream. USA, Mexico. That was so exciting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to midcourt for the Lynchburg dance team.
And that was Lynchburg dance team performing second consecutive weekend. Now we'll step aside, have a quick break, come back, get you up to date on everything that went on during the first half, themes as well as the stats from the first 20 minutes of play. You're watching Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan on LHSN.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia. Halftime between the Hornets and the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins. You're watching this contest on LHSN. TJ Wingert here, ready to take you through all the action. Here are some of the stats and figures for the first 20 minutes of play, but an exciting one at that. Obviously close in a lot of different categories, though the field goal percentage does jump off the page for Virginia Wesleyan. They do have 4 less shot attempts, so that skews the percentage just a little bit, and that's due in part 9-3 advantage for Lynchburg, and offensive rebounds hasn't led to a huge advantage in second chance points, 8-2, but it is advantage nonetheless for the Hornets. One of the things that'll immediately jump off your page, the three-point shooting percentages, right? Virginia Wesleyan 3 for 9, so both a higher percentage but also more quantity, as Lynchburg is 0 for 3. This is a Hornets team that's had a hard time shooting it from downtown. Shot north of 55% last Saturday against against Washington and Lee, but Wednesday against Ferrum, and then the 6 games leading up to the win against W&L. Tough time shooting the basketball. In specific, before the win against the Generals, it was 6 consecutive games shooting 31% or worse from beyond the arc, and it wasn't much better on Wednesday night against Ferrum as Lynchburg went 31.8%. Leading scores for each side, getting it done, 10 points for Jordan Crump, hit a couple early threes, then found some good looks underneath. He's followed closely behind by Corey Pelham, 9 points, and he also showcased some good range shooting the basketball. And then there's 8 for Tim Fisher to go along with 3 rebounds and an assist for the 5th-year player from Richmond, Virginia. On the other side, Lynchburg led by Izzy Lakami with 10. Then it's 8 from Dal Dunton and 6 for Miles Taylor as the top 3 scoring trio for Lynchburg. To this point in the contest, we're going to take one more pause, come back, and I'll talk about some adjustments that both sides can make once we get to the second half, and also talk about the other action going on around the ODAC. So don't go anywhere. Plenty more to watch between Virginia Wesleyan and Lynchburg on LHSN.
I would definitely say to reach out. Me personally, I know several of my classmates would be more than happy to talk, to get a text, get a phone call, get an email, whatever it may be, and just answer any questions that you have. The faculty here, they're great, but of course coming in, sometimes it's better to hear it from a student than from a future professor. So reach out, nobody is afraid or unwilling to help. I would have loved to have someone to reach out to, and now that we're here, we are those people that they can reach out to. So feel free, ask questions. We're here to help you go through what we've just been through.
Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia. 33-32 your score. Marlins out in front of the Hornets on LHSN. Talk about some of the action from around the rest of the ODAC conference, in specific men's basketball action. Roanoke and Bridgewater tied up 33 all at the break, pretty much where we are right now. And then Ferrum out in front of Eastern Mennonite 39-32, just now getting underway in the second half. Panthers looking for consecutive wins. Hampton City and Shenandoah. This is a game where the Tigers win and Lynchburg loses. They'll have the same record, but the Hornets have the tiebreaker due to a February 1st win. Lynchburg took down Hampton City on a code red night, but the Tigers lead the Shenandoah Hornets 45-42. And the final game I want to talk about for ODAC men's basketball, Washington and Lee up 43-31 at Randolph. As for scores around campus, Methodist ended up taking the first game of a doubleheader for softball 2-1. Second game now getting ready to get underway. Obviously, a little bit of a break between the games. Meanwhile, for men's lacrosse, final score 26-2. Hornets, number 6 in the country, and they take down the Pride by a wide margin. Women's basketball up at the break, 33-32. Wow. The exact same score, just Lynchburg out in front of Virginia Wesleyan. Sports, poetry, emotion, to say the least. And baseball coming off a win in the season opener against number 15 Trinity. Currently getting set to get underway against number 9 Washington of Missouri. First pitch set for 3:15. So there's the update for ODAC implications as well as around the university. Actually, one final note. Lynchburg women's lacrosse up 14-6 in the fourth period against Avery. Now, I promise you, done with updates. Let's talk about this men's basketball game. Let's talk about adjustments for both sides. Starting with Virginia Wesleyan, I think it comes down to limiting second chance opportunities for the Hornets. Gave up 9 offensive rebounds in that first half, and it's one of those things where you look at Virginia Wesleyan, actually last in the conference in rebounds per game, 31.4 per game, but obviously Eric Fisher just surpassed program record for career rebounds. They have quality rebounders, and part of the reason their season average is a little low is this team has pretty solid field goal percentages and things of that nature. And also defensively, they're one of the bottom teams in the conference field goal percentage defensively and also three-point shooting percentage defensively. So they don't miss a lot. Opponents seemingly don't a whole lot either, at least on a season average basis. Therefore, there's not a whole lot of rebounds to pick up. But if you limit second chance plays that Lynchburg gets, I think you could see this lead certainly grow beyond 1. Again, second chance points, opportunities, slight edge there for Lynchburg, 8-2, and add 6 more points to the lead for Virginia Wesleyan. If you're a Marlins fan, you'd feel a lot more comfortable at the break than where you are right now. Meanwhile, for Lynchburg, I feel like a broken record saying this every home game. You're going to need some three-point shots to fall, and whether it's Theron Suggs, Jordan Parham, Elijah Davis, Miles Taylor, you got to find somebody you can consistently lean on and rely on to knock down shots from deep or open up the scoring inside the arc for players like Young, Suggs, Dunton, etc., etc. Those are just my adjustments. Let's see what comes to fruition as the second half now underway. Lynchburg with the opening possession, a chance to retake the lead. Taylor had the bucket to beat the buzzer to send us to the break here. Draws the first foul of the second half. Goes against Eric Rowland. Taylor will head to the free throw line now. On the season, a 62.5% free throw shooter. First attempt up and touches nothing but the bottom of the net for the Hornets. Lynchburg is a team 5 for 5 from the line. That might be another adjustment once we get deeper and deeper in the second half. Opportunity to put Virginia Wesleyan in foul trouble, get to the bonus. That might be the emphasis down the stretch for the Hornets. On the other side, Virginia Wesleyan, per live stats, no free throw attempts. Lynchburg's going to stay in that 2-3 zone. It gave the Marlins fits towards the end of the first half. Pelham, far side wing is true on the three-point shot. Pelham now into double figures with 12. Lockamy gets a screen from Young. Now lays it off to the transfer from Ferrum. Trying to go through Rowland, but Young called for the offensive foul. Possession comes to an early close. 19 minutes left until the conclusion. Virginia Wesleyan now with the chance to push the lead to 2 possessions. Marlins looking for win number 5 in a row. Lynchburg looking to avenge a disappointing loss on the road Wednesday night and end the regular season with some positive momentum before we get to the postseason. Shot off the mark. Offensive rebound. DeVoe to Fisher, who's fouled by Taylor. These will become the first 2 free throws of the game for the Marlins. Tim Fisher is 70.2% free throw shooter. And if Fisher goes 2 for 2 here, he'll become the third player for the Marlins to reach double figures. Crump was the first. Pelham, a moment ago, became the second. Fisher good on his first free throw attempt. 1 away from becoming the third player to reach double-digit scoring for Virginia Wesleyan. More importantly, if you're a Marlins fan, with the second free throw being good, the lead does grow to a 2-possession mark. Theron Suggs, a quiet first half. Lynchburg able to keep it close regardless. Locking me down low to Taylor against Pelham. Left-handed hook, left short. Loose ball gathered by Rowland. Finds the trailer Pelham. Now the Marlins set up in the half court. Tough shot for Rowland. Well defended by Taylor. Dunton won't get the rebound, tipped it out. Young gathers. Now ahead for Miles Taylor. Going at Eric Fisher. Layup no good. DeVoe takes screen right from Fisher, now defended by Dunton. Swung to the corner, Wallace gives to Fisher. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Backdoor cut and a pretty one at that. DeVoe, the beneficiary. Up and under score, makes it a 6-point lead. Suggs with the basketball in hand, 0 for 4 shooting in the first half. No points, but 5 assists for Suggs, so finding a way to make an impact on this contest, even if it's not scoring the basketball himself. Dunton against Fisher. No good on the first attempt, but the second is true for Dunton. Timeout on the floor. That sends us to the first immediate timeout of the second half. Virginia Wesleyan grows the lead to 4, 40-36 your score. You're watching the Hornets and the Marlins on LHSN. $17 minutes and a second left to play between Virginia Wesleyan and Lynchburg. Been a fun one so far. You're watching this game on LHSN. It's TJ Wingert here with you on hand. And it'll be Marlins possession coming out of the timeout. Marlins currently the number 3 seed in the ODAC standings. Likely won't move up nor down, but this is an interesting matchup. If the season were to end today and the standings stayed the same, this would be a rematch next Thursday night at 8 o'clock. So not only an important game to end the regular season with some positive momentum, but both sides getting the opportunity to get a quick glance, so to speak, at the other. Another close quarters miss for Suggs. Dunton was in the mix for the offensive rebound. Jump ball called. Marlins regain possession. Head by 6. And Virginia Wesleyan now with the opportunity to push the ledger up to 3 possessions. Wallace over to Pelham. Hop step, near side low post to the free throw line. Fisher touches every part of the rim. Ultimately a miss. Off the hands of DeVoe. Trying to make a play against down Dunton. Now Lynchburg looking for a much needed bucket. 16-11 to play. Young brings it forward. He is that combo player. Strong enough to play with the bigs. Enough ball handling ability and also passing vision to play outside and on the perimeter. Dunton has it taken away by Fisher. What can the fifth-year player not do, averaging more than a steal a game on top of the 17-plus points per contest and more than 10 rebounds per game. Here it's Wallace calling for the travel. Either side really battled with a whole lot of turnover problems. At the end of the first half, it was 4 for Virginia Wesleyan, just 1 for Lynchburg. That was another area of an advantage for the Hornets. Maintained the basketball, but also turned those 4 turnovers into 6 points the other way. And at the top of the broadcast, we talked about both teams very clinical with the basketball, but got to think one side could give. And if it does, what does that mean for the other team? Are they able to take advantage of those opportunities? So far, not a whole lot to look at and examine. Small sample size for sure, but Lynchburg with some early returns that look at and be happy with. The offensive rebound, though, something that Virginia Wesleyan fans can be happy with. Crump draws the foul. It's on the floor. Appears the foul's got to go against Miles Taylor, his second. Third to go against the Hornets. Just under 15 minutes to go in the second half. Fresh 20 put on the shot clock. Saw Lynchburg open up the second half playing that 2-3 zone at the end of the first half with. This possession, more man-to-man. Dunton working against Fisher, calling for the foul. Second whistle to go against Dunton. The only player really in foul trouble currently for Lynchburg is Carrington Young with 3. Fisher on the line. Went 2 for 2 at his first trip to the stripe. Starts his second appearance with a make. Fisher's had 10 or more rebounds and 4 in a row. All told, done it 16 times this year. That's on top of scoring in double figures in every game but 4 so far this season. Five-point Virginia Wesleyan lead. In the hands of Lockamy, led the way for the Hornets in the first half with 10. Trying to get it to Taylor. Poked away by Pelham. Lynchburg going to keep possession. Kevin Nichols back on the floor for the Marlins. Cam Savage checks in for Lynchburg. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Savage will inbound. Dunton for Suggs. Sizes up DeVoe. Step back Trey. Touches the rim twice. Goes out of play. Taylor. Good hustle. Tries to keep it in. Unable to do just that. So for Theron Suggs, in the first meeting between these two teams, just 8 points, 2 of 10 shooting, 0 for 2 from three-point land, and today still looking for his first field goal. Good look for Nicholson. Can't finish with the right hand. Savage looking in the direction of the sophomore Miles Taylor. Dunton able to get it to him. Foul on the floor, should go against Omri DeVoe. Savage will inbound underneath the basket. Lofts it up. Theron Suggs. Again, down low to Taylor. Working against Pelham. Offensive foul. Coach Hillary Scott and the Hornets fans in attendance not happy with that call. 5th foul to go against Lynchburg. 3rd on Taylor. Virginia Wesleyan, a team that's currently 9th in the conference free throw shooting percentages, may find themselves at the line and living in the bonus here pretty soon. Pelham, far side. Trey in and out. Suggs draws the contact. Call goes against DeVoe. First to go against the freshman from Henrico, Virginia. 3rd to go against Virginia Wesleyan as a team. Hornets need a bucket. Savage defended by Tibet. They find Lockamy, gets the screen, steps it back. 3 no good. Fisher over to Crump. Crump led the way for Virginia Wesleyan in the first half. He had 10. Silky smooth finish just outside the restricted circle. Crump has had anything he wanted and then some. Averaging 9 a game. Well beyond that by now. To be exact, he's got 15. Taylor defended by Crump. Taylor wins this battle. Tibet to the free throw line. Fisher gathers. Over to Crump. DeVoe from downtown. Shot strong. Fisher gets the miss. Up and underneath the basket. Pretty layup. Lead up to 7. Perfect pick and roll defense for Virginia Wesleyan. Nothing doing down low for Dunton. Savage has his shot touch every part of the rim. Whistle blown. Be a Virginia Wesleyan basketball with subs coming on for both sides. Miles Wallace checks in for the Marlins. And Eric Rowland back on the floor. Meanwhile, for Lynchburg, Jordan Parham just checked in. Less than 12 minutes to go. Lynchburg's had a knack for these home comeback wins. They did it against Eastern Mennonite, Hampton Sydney, Ferrum. And 11.5 to play. They'll need another this afternoon. Crump feeds Fisher. Lost it. Gets it back. Finishes it. Fisher up to 17. and it hasn't been all that flashy. Instead, the word I'd use to describe it, consistent. Suggs looking for the answer. Won't have it on this possession, and Suggs still looking for his first field goal. The shooting numbers for Lynchburg across the board. Percentages falling precipitously. Fisher on the other end. Won't get the shot to go instead. Heads to the line for 2 more. Chance for the Marlins to have their lead grow to a largest mark and into double figures. Whistle goes against Dunn. He's now got 3. Taylor, Young, and Dunn all in a tricky spot. 3 fouls against the bigs for the Hornets, and it's an area where Lynchburg is thin because Thacker's hurt. Trey Pittman's going to check in now. Also have Lucas Heckerman, Elijah Davis can play a little down low. We'll see what Coach Scott draws up down the rest of the way and what players he's leaning on to be on the floor. Fisher good on the first. Attempt number 2, in and out. Fisher stays pat, 18 points today. Tough look for Parham, gets it to fall. First 2 points for Parham. Lynchburg back into the 2-3 zone. Marlins finding the weak spots in the zone. And if Lynchburg's going to live in that 2-3, you'll see a lot of bounce passes to the free throw line and 15 feet away from the cup on the baseline. You'll see it over and over and over again. Nearly midway through the second half. Inbound to Pelham. They'll ride the hot hand of Fisher. 10 seconds, sizing up Young. Shot off the mark. Last touch by Rowland. Savage gives it down low to Young. Back out to Pittman. Floor stretching big. You'll see Pittman live on the perimeter. Back down low. Young lost it. As he regathered, he was standing on the baseline. Hornets offense had a tough go at it here in the second half. Coach Scott looking for any and all answers that might present themselves. Rowland, elbow jumper. Halfway down, swatted out after the miss by Fisher. Hornets 7-2 at home. Good crowd on hand for senior day. A little more than 9 minutes to try to complete the comeback and pick up their first win against Virginia Wesleyan after 3 consecutive losses against the Marlins. Pass to the corner. Wallace's 3. Close miss. Parham in transition. Hop step. Shot off the glass, no good, but free throws on the way for Jordan Parham. Going to eat into the 8-point deficit. Saw Parham make a tough close quarter shot, a couple possessions back, and for a player who largely in many people's eyes probably profiles as a 3-and-D wing, especially where he is right now as a sophomore. Parham has gotten it done inside the arc over the last minute or 2 of game action. First free throw, however, no good. DeVoe checks back in. subbing on for Rowland. Parham on the season, 87.5% free throw shooter. He goes 0 for 2, a couple of uncanny misses. Fisher against Pittman. Pelham finds Crump. Too much touch on the floater. Parham thought about the 3. Fadeaway 2. No good. Offensive rebound for Pittman. Poked away, and ultimately they're going to call it a foul against Miles Wallace. Savage with the honors to inbound for Lynchburg, but first a sub for the Marlins. DeVoe checks back in. Wallace heads to the bench after getting called for the foul. Lofted up to Lockamy. He's been quiet so far in the second half. Long 2. Left a touch short. Virginia Wesleyan, the offensive production's been steady. They're also 1 foul away from working themselves into the bonus. Deep tray. Pelham stepped into it, exuded all the confidence, makes it an 11-point Virginia Wesleyan advantage. Young over to Pittman, top of the arc. Another miss from downtown. Lynchburg struggled shooting it from deep. Young stays with it, finds the cutter Pittman, who goes off the glass and through. First 2 points for the sophomore. 7:21 to play in the second half. Timeout on the floor. 9-point difference between Virginia Wesleyan and Lynchburg. And it becomes a media timeout, so we will step aside and come back with more as you're watching Virginia Wesleyan and Lynchburg on LHSN.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
Hi, Marilyn. How are you?
7:21 to play. Marlins up by 9. Looking to make it 4 consecutive wins against Lynchburg and 5 consecutive wins on the season. Setting themselves up with all the momentum in the world. Getting ready for ODAC postseason play starting next week. The play-in tournament, 7 will take on 10. 8 will host 9. And then the winners of those games will take on the 1 and 2 seeds next week at the Civic Center. And we'll have the 3-6 matchup and the 4-5 as well. All these details can be found on the odaxonline.com. You can see the entire postseason bracket, not only for basketball season, but if you're curious about how it worked in the fall or how it will work in the spring, all your resources at your disposal at the odaxonline.com. A little slow coming out of the timeouts, but players on the floor for Virginia Wesleyan. Coach McGado looking for a career win or 450 today, so May not have the headline milestone as a win like 250 and 500 might, but 450, nothing to scoff at. We talked about at the top of the broadcast, all-time winningest coach in conference history, active or retired. That is quite the stat to pat your back on. Hornets settle into the 2-3 zone. Virginia Wesleyan called for the travel. And there's no 9-point shot in the offensive playbook, right? So it's one possession at a time for the Hornets. Good start coming out of the timeout. They get the stop on the defensive side. Now to continue. Need the offense come through with some big buckets down the stretch. Shot clock's at 10. Savage works right. Now it's Pittman, defended by Nicholson. Shot fake. Tough shot as Pittman leaning. Ultimately couldn't finish. DeVoe sets up the offense in the half court. Tim Fisher not on the floor currently. Instead of the free throw line, that's Kevin Nicholson. Another stop for the Lynchburg defense. Dow Dunton, Theron Suggs going to check in at the next dead ball for the Hornets as well. Taken away by Rowland. Parham did what he could to play catch up, but it's an easy two in transition for the sophomore from Maryland. Lead back into double figures at 11. Less than 6 minutes of basketball left. Parham open the corner. A dribble, the three, short. Timeout called by Virginia Wesleyan. Cato not happy with the offensive look, perhaps. Regardless, 5.5 to play in the second half. 11-point Virginia Wesleyan lead. As the two teams settle into the huddle, chance for me to thank everybody for tuning in this Saturday afternoon, but also since it's our last men's basketball broadcast, last basketball broadcast of the season. For myself, the rest of our LHSN production crew, we appreciate everybody who's tuned in throughout the winter. Got it underway in November with women's basketball playing host to Averett, and that feels like a lifetime ago. But winter sports season now coming closer and closer to a close, and we get ready for our spring sports action. That'll carry over into next weekend. Men's lacrosse taking on Cabrini. A heavyweight showdown in the men's lacrosse scene. Also baseball getting underway this week on Wednesday, playing host to Averett. Then next weekend, the doubleheader on Saturday against Dickinson, and then finishing the series on Sunday. All that to say, we're excited here at LHSN to get back outside and see what the spring sports take us. 5.5 to go. Virginia Wesleyan will inbound for the near sideline. 5 on for Lynchburg. Dunton, Young, Suggs, Taylor, Lackamy. 5 for Virginia Wesleyan. Fisher, Crump, Pelham, DeVoe, and Rowland. I would expect at this point in the contest, Virginia Wesleyan probably not in a rush. They haven't really played a whole lot of up-tempo through today's game, and that certainly will not change as Virginia Wesleyan now leads by 13. Use the clock, force Lynchburg to play 2 opponents. The Marlins, and what time they have left. Young answers back. Nice finish inside the restricted circle, plus the foul on top. Carrington Young now with 6 on the day. Foul went against Tim Fisher. Hard to imagine saying this at this point in the game, but just the second whistle to go against Fisher. It's easy for those bigs to just rack up fouls. Gets cluttered down low, but Fisher been able to avoid any sort of foul trouble. DeVoe tries to go backside corner, looking like he was throwing it to the corner of the end zone. No one there. Another turnover. 11-point game. Young patrols to his right. Backing down the smaller defender, Jordan Crump. Young through contact, no good on the first. Stays resolved, finishes on the second chance opportunity. The entire Lynchburg bench standing to their feet. We're going to bolster the energy in the building. 3 short for Pelham. Through the hands of DeVoe. Lockamy for Taylor in transition. Pinned up underneath the basket by Fisher. That could have been a fast break sequence that brought the crowd to their feet, swung momentum into the favor of Lynchburg. Instead, Fisher gets the block. Lynchburg has Suggs inbound to Taylor. Gets the 2 points all the same. Taylor with 14. Rowland wide open for 3, off the mark. Dunn gets the rebound. 2-on-2 the other way. Taylor finds Lockamy for 3. Left it short. O-board for Taylor. Lost it on his way up. Dunn there to pick up the loose ball. Young with a head of steam attacks the basket. Off the glass. Shot no good. Poked out by Dunn Rowland. The player who gets the rebound, though. And Virginia Wesleyan looking to bring the tempo to a halt. And furthermore, Corey Pelham called for a timeout. And Virginia Wesleyan, in my eyes, a little fortunate a couple of those shots didn't go because the energy was starting to build upon itself for the Hornets. A couple of those shots sink through. Next thing you know, you might be talking about maybe a 5, maybe a 3-point game, and the crowd reinvigorated back into it. Instead, 7-point difference, 3:16 to go, and Virginia Wesleyan will have basketball coming out of this timeout. And here, you're looking to 1, use the clock to your advantage, but 2, be able to answer anything Lynchburg has on their side. You need consistent offensive production, and case in point, that's been Tim Fisher all day long. You've been hearing me call his name throughout the entire game, and it hasn't been done from 3-point land or a lot of dunks, but 18 points today for Fisher. That's actually above his season average of 17.3. All that to say, Fisher's been the guy so far today for Virginia Wesleyan, with some assistance, of course, from Jordan Crump, and Corey Pelham showcased some good range shooting the basketball. But in crunch time here, when you need to put the game away, expect to see a lot of Tim Fisher for the Marlins. Also helps he only has 2 fouls, so it's not like playing through foul trouble and having to figure out how you're going to use him on the offensive side and hide him on the defensive end. Five on the floor now for Virginia Wesleyan, and the Hornets breaking the huddle. We spent that time talking about Virginia Wesleyan, and that's one side of the equation. Meanwhile, Lynchburg, you're looking for pretty much the exact opposite of everything I just talked about for the Marlins. Looking to bring this game to a higher tempo, create some turnovers and some good looks in transition. 3-possession game. Inbound goes to Wallace, who gets it across half court. And it's that zone rotating look for Hornets defense. Wallace left with too much space, makes Lynchburg pay. Suggs lost it. Huge turnover created by the Marlins. Dunton steps up. DeVoe looking for help. Fisher at the free throw line, now back. DeVoe for 3, off the side of the iron. Still a 10-point game. Lockamy, spin move, left-handed layup, plus the foul. Izzy Lockamy, 12 points so far, and doing so largely from inside the painted area. Had a career best 24 a week ago today. Now looking to make it a 7-point contest. 2:28 to go. Nothing but nylon for Lockamy. Now up to 13. Pelham dribbles to the corner. Won't have baseline. Cut off by Dunton. Pass off the mark. Trying to feed Fisher. No numbers advantage for Lynchburg. Young attacks the basket. Denied by Fisher. And then another block. Dunton gets it back. Falls on the baseline. Virginia Wesleyan regains control of the basketball. We talked about Eric Fisher as the steady supply of offense. But how about consistent defensive effort for a fifth-year player who has proven today does everything? Coach Mikado and this Marlins squad. Good ball movement for Virginia Wesleyan. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Dish over to Rowland for 3. Shot long. Minute 20, Lynchburg. Gotta work quick. Foul on the play. 8th to go against Virginia Wesleyan, so free throws inbound for the Hornets. And now in the bonus, Lynchburg has a opportunity to one-stop the clock and also put points on the board by pressing this advantage. DeVoe checks back in. Rowland out for the Marlins. 1-1 for Lockamy. With Lynchburg looking for a big comeback effort. Lockamy good on the first, earns the second. Now 15 points on the afternoon for Izzy Cash Lockamy. 2-possession game. A stop here is imperative. Pelham gets the late whistle. Call goes against Dunton, his 4th. That was the 7th to go against Lynchburg, but it's a guaranteed 2 on the way for Corey Pelham. 74.5% free throw shooter so far this season. First attempt is good. Full 2-possession lead for Virginia Wesleyan. This next free throw might be the single biggest point Pelham could have on his stat line. Currently 13 on the day for the 5th-year player and member of the starting 5. Second attempt up and through. 62-55. Jordan Parham checks in for Lynchburg. Have to think might be in play in mind for Coach Scott, trying to have Parham get a good look from beyond the arc. Dunton, the top of the key to Suggs from way downtown. How about that for your first made bucket of the day? 39.1 to go, 4-point ball game. And as I take a glance to my left, looking at the scoreboard, which also features all the scoring tallies to this point in the game, with less than 40 seconds to play, I did not think I'd see Theron Suggs with 3. Our Lynchburg player to watch has been quiet, but he has a knack for coming through in late game situations. That 3-point shot from the far side wing, a good start. But now the Hornets need a quick stop on the defensive side. About a 9-second differential between shot and game clock. And as you're down by 2 possessions, you don't have the luxury of trying to settle back into the defensive side and get a stop. So this play out of the break comes down to, can Virginia Wesleyan get the basketball in, or can the Lynchburg Hornets generate a turnover? If Lynchburg does get the steal and then a bucket, we're talking about a very different game. But if it's Virginia Wesleyan getting the pass in, we might be seeing free throws down the rest of this game. An exciting contest so far, and even better yet, Virginia Wesleyan the 3 seed currently, Lynchburg the 6. The standings stay the same. These 2 teams will get a rematch on this upcoming Thursday, and it should be played at 8 o'clock in the Civic Center, that prime time slot. DeVoe will inbound for the Marlins. Defended by Miles Taylor. Pelham picked up by a second defender. DeVoe finds Wallace. Bullock forced to foul. Just over 30 seconds left until the conclusion. It's amazing. Basketball is a sport that features plenty of things that ordinary folk can't do. But in late game spots, it all comes down to passing, getting the basketball in, avoiding 5- and 10-second violations. And then in a day and age where it's all about the 3-point shot, this game going to be decided at the free throw line. Can Virginia Wesleyan hold on and come away with the season sweep of Lynchburg and make it 4 consecutive wins over the Hornets? The first attempt up and through. That was foul number 8 against Lynchburg, by the way. So the Hornets have 1 more foul to give in the 1-on-1 spot. A second foul results in a guaranteed 2 for Virginia Wesleyan. Wallace unfazed, goes 2 for 2. Lead up to 6. Suggs, defended by Wallace, fading away. 3, misses it all. Parham got the offensive rebound and absorbs the shove from DeVoe. Free throws on the way now for Lynchburg. Shot clock's turned off and will remain to be rest of the way unless Lynchburg can find a way to force OT. Cam Savage will inbound, or excuse me, check in. Next available opportunity. Instead, we'll have a timeout called by Coach Hillary Scott. This is also a tricky spot where possession game and time left on the clock, you have to weigh the interest in potentially missing on purpose, crashing the glass, and then getting the O-board and finding a shooter from 3. Not necessarily ideal to miss a free throw, but down 6, 21.3 to work with. Sometimes you give a little to get a lot, and that is the potential proposition on the table right now for Lynchburg. Parham went 0 for 2 in his first trip to the free throw line. But overall in the year, a very consistent shooter from the stripe. So Coach Scott might elect to see Parham knock through both free throws and get it back to a 4-point game, stop at a bucket, and then try to get another stop and bucket. Five on the floor for Virginia Wesleyan. DeVoe, Pelham, Wallace, Fisher, and Crump. 5 for Lynchburg, Lockamy, Suggs, Parham at the line, Dunton and Taylor, and the low post. Parham no good on the first. Rebound Fisher, and that is your dagger. 19.5 seconds to play. Fisher just needs one free throw to make this a 3-possession advantage. Virginia Wesleyan with a win. Becomes a W number 5 in a row. And the 6th of the last 7 games played. The lone exception being a 25-point loss against Washington and Lee. But with that one outlier, this Marlins team has just been good as it gets across the ODAC. And it sets up a really stacked playoff field for the ODAC. At the top, of course, the number 1 team in the country, Randolph-Macon, Guilford. With as good as we've seen Virginia Wesleyan play, think about a team with a 2-game advantage on the Marlins. And then Virginia Wesleyan currently as the 3 seed, followed by Washington and Lee in the 4 spot. Roanoke and Lynchburg both 8-7 conference play. The Maroons, though, with the tiebreaker and a win here at Wayne Prophet Court. So Roanoke's your 5 and Lynchburg is your 6. And Lynchburg, with a loss, falls to 8-8 in conference play. Eastern Mennonite up to 8-8 in conference action. Whistle on the play. It's a lane violation going against Lynchburg, and that only furthers the problem for the Hornets. But to continue my point, Eastern Mennonite picked up the 77-71 win over Ferrum. It was a close game at halftime. And EMU going to be neck and neck with Lynchburg. Those 2 teams split the regular season series with the home team taking each matchup. And then Hampton-Sydney, if they come away with a win today, they will also be 8-8 in conference play. They were leading Shenandoah at halftime. Nice finish for Lockamy. Back to a 4-point game. To round out the playoff picture, though, after EMU is Hampton-Sydney, then Bridgewater and Randolph. Those are your top 10 teams. Randolph tied with Shenandoah, 3-12 in conference play. It's a full timeout, so we'll have a bit of a wait here, but just wanted to catch you up on what the ODAC playoff picture looks like coming in today, and there's still a lot to figure out. Who's the 10 seed? Is it Randolph? Is it Shenandoah? Before today's games, it was Randolph. Who is the 6? To me, it felt as though Lynchburg was locked in that spot with Eastern Mennonite winning, however. The Running Royals might have a grab depending on the next tiebreaker after head-to-head record. But as a fan of basketball, not just somebody who works for the University of Lynchburg, I do hope the Hornets stay into that 6th spot and get to take on Virginia Wesleyan next Thursday. That game will come to you on the LHSN radio network. I'll be on the road to get you everything you need to know for that contest and broadcast it then. Do the same thing on Friday nights. The Lynchburg women's basketball team, also the 6th seed in the ODAC standings. Out of the timeout, less than 15 seconds to go. DeVoe into Pelham. Crump will head to the free throw line. Call goes against Lockamy. As players travel down the length of the floor. Update for the Lynchburg women's basketball game. And it was the same score but flipped at halftime, 33-32. Here, men's basketball, it was Virginia Wesleyan up by 1. And if this is correct, it's 64-60. Lynchburg winning at Virginia Wesleyan. And actually, looking a little more, looks like that game has gone final, 66-65. Hornets survive a close one against Virginia Wesleyan, who came of the day last in the ODAC standings. And it becomes a 3-game win streak to end the year for the Hornets. They'll also be playing Friday. The ODAC tournament is the 6th seed. That game will get underway at 8 o'clock. Both free throws good. Jordan Crump up to 17 on the day. Less than 10 seconds to go. Another timeout on the floor. And we are fresh out of timeouts now. Both sides out of play stoppage usage, for lack of a better term. And once again, we wait. If the score does stand, Virginia Wesleyan ends the regular season 16-9, 12-4 in conference play. And again, this would be win number 450. Dave Mikado, in his 22nd year at the helm of this Virginia Wesleyan men's basketball program. Meanwhile, the Hornets would suffer just their 3rd loss at home and fall to 14-11 overall, 8-8 in conference play. And it would be back-to-back losses to end the regular season at Ferrum on Wednesday night, and then, barring something crazy this afternoon, a loss to Virginia Wesleyan at home. Taylor will inbound, full court pressure in front of him. Lockamy goes coast to coast. Lockamy up to 19. Lockamy also draws the foul, his 2nd, and we'll have more free throws. It'll be Corey Pelham stepping the line with 14 points so far today. This Virginia Wesleyan team has so many players that compete in so many different ways. Case in point, 3 of the 5 on the floor right now with 14 or more. Crump has exactly that total. First attempt up and short. He'll have a chance to get the 15 on the 2nd. And then our Virginia Wesleyan player to watch, Tim Fisher, has 18. And Jordan Crump, 5th consecutive game coming off the bench. He's got 17 so far. 2nd free throw up and good. 5-point game. Suggs tries to beat the buzzer, shot off the mark. That's your final. 67-62, Virginia Wesleyan sweeps Lynchburg in the regular season. Good chance these two teams will see each other once more once we get to the ODAC quarterfinals. Two sides entered as the 3 and 6 seed in the ODAC standings, and if the day finishes with those two in the same spot, they'll get to see one another next Thursday, 8 p.m. in the Civic Center out in Salem, Virginia. Been an exciting one. Some final thoughts. Virginia Wesleyan, well, they look as good as advertised and playing as hot as anybody inside the conference. Won 5 in a row, and Lynchburg on the other side stumbling into the playoffs. Tough loss at Ferrum and a disappointing way to celebrate senior day this afternoon. Still learning what life is like without TC Thacker, but the good news if you're a Hornets fan, Coach Hillary Scott can do a lot over the next couple of days and provide some tweaks. This team really could use some three-point shooting. Maybe it's finding a way to open up and create some different looks for different players, et cetera, et cetera. I'll let Coach Scott be the expert in that field. I'm nowhere near qualified to talk on that matter. But that is going to do it for us from Wayne Profit Court. Once again, final score 67-62. Virginia Wesleyan comes out on top over Lynchburg. For my director, Nathaniel Pierce, and the rest of our LHSN broadcast crew, my name's TJ Wingert. And until next time, we are signing off.